only supply so many meters, and we require that the contractors pay for the infrastructure. So if somebody wants to put in a subdivision, they have to pay for the infrastructure. But we would have to, come up with supplying water.
Your 2010 contract, amendment to the contract, that was based on growth, anticipated growth at that time?
No, I believe that was to accommodate the water treatment plant that we had. So figuring out a way to bill for that. There's been a couple other small amendments. One was to help pay for the office staff at Central Texas. In 2010, I think, wasn't that, Stacy, for the paying the?
It was to solve the ongoing litigation so that we could get the funding to pay for the plant.
I think what happened is we resolved that conflict we had so that we could finish our plan, so we could get the funding.
Are there plans for any kind of remodel of the plant for the future?
Yeah.
And the infrastructure such as your piping and things like that? Or is that fix it as you break it as it breaks?
Well, the plant is in remodel right now. It's giving me another 1 million gallons put in it. Since I've been with Kepner, we remodeled the plant. New racks, new filters, a lot of things. So the plant, is an ongoing expense to us. We have to continue to upgrade that. Our capacity is up to what it needs to be right now, but as it needs to be upgraded, it will be upgraded. Okay. As far as the line and pipes and infrastructure, the first thing that we're going to have to do if we want more water is that line that runs from 195 to Ivy. We've talked about that before. That's a co-owned line. So Lampasas would have to cost share in that line, which would probably be a parallel line. And last time we estimated it was about 9 million, so it's a pretty huge expense. And so that's why I'm saying, we need to start talking about how we're going to solve those problems going forward. Are we going to wait until that hits us in the face and then we have to come up with $10 million? No.
I guess we have the numbers for the ongoing operation and maintenance. We have those numbers as far as what it costs.
Will we bill you, you mean? Or?
Well, you said you mentioned ongoing operations and maintenance, and you would start giving us more of an itemized list of that. We don't have that at this time?
No, you do. You get that.
Okay.
You get that in your billing.
And what I'm curious about is, we don't have any sort of proposed rate in front of us, right?
No.
And so, you're saying the Central Texas water is $4.03 per 1,000 gallon, which is almost the rate that our customers pay currently for their water. We pay.
That's their wholesale rate.
Okay, understood.
Your wholesale rate.
But we're talking a significant rate increase to get to what you're talking about. And let me be clear in that our water department is solely funded by water revenues, much like you guys are. So while there are some references to possibly outside funding sources, the water fund operates completely independently of the rest of the city's operational funds. So, but as we are proposing this, it'd be great to know what kind of numbers you're looking at.
Well, I didn't want to prepare the numbers just yet. I felt like we just needed to come to the table and talk. So we've been trying to do this now for well over a year.
I think the other thing too is coming to the table with you guys today to sit down and talk numbers. What would be kind of a rude, we would like to talk, like Bruce is saying, as well as if you see the numbers you guys have that we're facing. It's roughly for every $100 a member spends, $15 is to subsidize Lampasas. Like that's a significant increase over the last 5 years. Like it only gets more exponential. And to answer the questions here that we're kind of moving around, we can sustainably assist our capacity for members through Brazos River Valley, and we're continuing to renovate the plant for the needs of our capacity. The problem and lies capacity for everyone else at a pass-through supplementary and paying everyone else's support to get to that, to get to the dollar eaches and the contracts of everybody else. We have no issue with Kempner with our flow and our contract. It's where everyone else is. We're to the point, like the slides have said, it's just like CID01, excuse me. The plant can no longer sustain itself the way we're pricing everyone. And we have priced our members to the point where we can't afford it anymore, and neither can Colleen. Everyone else has gotten to the point with the plants and the manufacturing that no matter how much we sell and how much we raise a member, we can't sustain it anymore. That's the issue. From an engineer standpoint, and from a guy who does public and engineering, we are to the point where we're maxed and we need help from people because we're to the point with the plant capacity and a water capacity and a funding capacity, we've hit a wall. And in the next 5 to 6 years, when we hit the Belton Stillhouse initiative where they start connecting 2 lakes and they decide through the Brazos River Valley who gets what water, we will then, by 2031, when they complete that project, everyone at this table, no matter what this determination is here today, will then lose the decision on how much water we get as a team to the other side of the corridor, because they will save a water plant to help the other side with Colleen and everyone else. They've already started asking VRA to sell rights to Colleen, if everyone hasn't seen that in the news, to help bail out that water district and that water plant, because they are about 2 years ahead of us right now with that water plant. That's why we're trying to come to the table. We need help and we don't want to be there, if that makes sense.
How did we get to this point?
To be honest with you, sir, and I'm new to this, I just got on this board because I saw a lot of issues and I've been back and forth with the military as an engineer. Just like Bruce is saying, a lot of not talking and a lot of he said, she said, we're all, well, everyone shares here, right? And everyone is.
Well, you know, I run a business and there's several other business guys, and when we see we're kind of starting to go underwater.
Yes, sir. The problem is nobody understands it's an issue until it's an issue, because everyone's trying to patch the problem, where we're to the point where it's SRM, right? Sustain, renovate, modernize. You guys have sustained and renovated as far as you can. You have to modernize your system. That means a full, either fix a couple more systems or overhaul the entire thing. You are at your max capacity at the 10 to 15 year mark for your facilities. If people, I'm sure some people in this room probably understand, you've run facilities construction, it's to the point where you rent it or tear it down and build it again. You are past that point of no return. The money has to come in, and also so do all the people have to come together on this. This is exactly what they've dealt with on the other side of the aisle already at the Colleen.
Well, I think the Central Texas water lines, which I guess you guys are likely to join, so does the county. I think what they're gonna try and do is make us more of a collective water system and maybe solve some of these problems. We don't have a water problem right now. Lampasas doesn't have a water problem right now, but they will have a problem in the future. That's where we're going. And if we don't start somehow paying new infrastructure or actually paying the bill, the water bill, we're not gonna be able to move on anything. We're just gonna sit here on our hands and say, okay, we'll wait until the day comes. It hits us in the face, and then we have to go, okay, now we gotta cough up a lot of money, so borrow it, whatever. So we're trying to get some planning, in place so that we can say, okay, this is where we're going, this is where we're headed.
You know, I wish your editorial that came out in the newspaper would have been said that instead of throwing something at the bus. It was,
Well, I
you know,
apologize.
I think you put us in a bad light to come to the table and try to negotiate after an article like that. And frankly, it just jacks me up.
I was trying to get you guys to come to the table. I'm sorry. I feel like if we're paying for the water bill, I feel like we're subsidizing.
Whatever happens, sir, that was not the intent, as well as I'm sure the entire board. We all think the same way, that we've got a problem, we need to fix it. If the team doesn't do it together, we can't do it alone. We need help from everybody. That's why we have harped on Mr. Sorensen several times. Can you please get a meeting And he has tried and tried and tried to his credit. I can't speak about what happens when he leaves, so I don't know, but, and I'm sure he does not mean it in any way that if it came across that way, I'm sure, but we've been trying to get with you guys, at least since I've been on the board for about, 10, maybe 11 months now. We've just been trying to get a meeting so we can get this up and running, because if we don't,
Question,
yes ma'am.
there was some discussion earlier about the billings and, some surprises on the billings because of, expenditures that came up. How does that work in your day-to-day operation? If you have repairs, do you bill the city on our lines, or how do you work that?
Are you talking about like a line break?
Right, any of the repairs or?
Yeah, we bill that directly. They get an overall bill and they pay a percentage of it. So it's billed in the amount of water loss, it's billed in the labor, the welding, whatever the cost is.
And I understand from, our public works director that you have a hand in that billing and you review it.
Yes, we met with Bruce and his staff to review the billing practices and kind of go through it to understand it. It is ridiculously complex, more than it probably needed to be. But yes, I would say city staff does have a little better understanding of how it's billed now that we met with him.
And I think part of the issue on any kind of billing is always being able to anticipate and be prepared, as you were saying, I think Aaron was saying about what could be the cost here. So it's hard to have a reaction until we know what kind of dollars we're talking about, what residents are talking about. Our residents already think that we're too high. And so I think
As do
That's
our
kind of
members,
information.
our members, we're actually, pardon?
Everybody across the board.
I think that's everybody across the board is like, water is just ridiculously high. And that's why I got on board with you and I came in his office and yelled and was like, I have PC Esther moved with the military across this country several times and have written this man to no end. And that is the issue, is we are paying way more than what we need to. But the problem is until we fix this, prices are that bad across the board because the way we're just running plants, we're running cost shares. There's so many levers to pull to get that to fix that. Where it's not gonna fix it until we fix the entire.
so when I lived south of town, about 5 miles south of town, I was on the Kempner water supply, down towards Mesquite Creek. And how does that billing compare to what our billing is within the city limits?
As far as billing goes, our base rate is $80, and it's about $7 per thousand. So I think, what do you guys like at 40 something
Base rate,
base rate?
$34.50 for residential?
And then a little bit different for people out of town.
Yes.
Just slightly.
Yeah, and then your water rate is what?
About $6.50 per gallon, or
It's
No,
a
yeah.
$4.55 per thousand.
I would say it's safe to say, man, that everything that we do versus you guys is gonna be roughly double A. Base and then your per thousand.
And do you have a long-term plan for replacements of, so many times we hear about pipes that were broken or pipes that had burst, or what is your long-term replacement?
As far as what breaks, there's no long range plan for that. It just fixed as it breaks. You know, as far as long range plan for replacing this line that runs through here, we don't have anything. And
No
it's
long-term
cost
plan?
prohibitive. It's absolutely cost prohibitive.
You got the 5-year one.
Yeah, we've got a 5-year long range plan that basically covers all of our capacity issues, all of our compliance issues, everything we need to do. But as far as replacing this line, we don't have, that's what we need to sit down and talk about. Because it's reaching its age.
You're talking about the 195 to Ivy Mountain line.
We're talking about that 195 to Lampasas line, the entire line.
So it's 195 to Ivy to Lampasas.
I think it's 38 miles from our water treatment plant. So minus the 10.
Yeah, there'd be no way to run down the piping by rural, if it was intercity, yes ma'am. Long range planning out that way.
I think we're at the point now we just need to come to a figure and equitable payment for the water, because if Kemper continues to pay a portion of the Lampasas bill, you know, we're not gonna get ahead, we're gonna keep billing our customers more and more. You know, our long-range plan that we've developed recently dictates that we go up about 1.8% per year for us.
Said 1.8%.
1.8% per year. So if we don't go up 1.8%, next year, in 2 years, we'll have to go up 5%. So it just compounds. So we realize that a rate increase every year is actually mandatory for us to sustain. And that's based on, you know, increasing costs of our long-range plan. Realizing that, you know, in the next 10 years, we have to replace that line or parallel that line from 195 Diagon Mountain. We've got some big, you know, expenses that we have in our long-range plan. One is that we're going to put a clarifier at our plant, which is about double our capacity at our plant. That's about an $8 million project. And that's going to be possibly done in 29. And that's outside of what you guys, you know, you're sitting on a plant in Central Texas, and they're struggling to survive. So I don't know how that works, you know, in the scheme of things, but what happens if they stop making water? It's something we need to discuss.
And that was the other thing that, look, I'll be fully transparent with you guys, that's why we're meeting. Construction, that was the thing that I recommended, that we either buy their plant or we sell to them, and we get out of this business altogether if we can't afford this anymore. Because it's either we buy them to buy capacity and sell to everybody, we convert to a WCID, because we'll be above, I think it's the 12,000 or 15,000 mandatory, and that puts us all in the same boat together. And then that's where we start bonding, then we can turn around and issue bonds and take care of our own construction, and take care of the plant, and then fully renovate it, right? Long range like Bruce is talking, or we're talking about turning around and what's the plant worth and selling it, getting out of the business altogether, and turning around and asking them to bulk sell water and then do what you guys are doing, because we can't afford to do business anymore. I don't know where that's going to put you guys, but we won't have a plant for them.
So you're proposing City of Lampasas and Kemper Water Supply purchase Central Texas Water?
We were just talking about us. If you want to do that, and we want to talk that later, sure. But I mean, that's something that it's either we're going to either have to figure out assets, or we're going to have to divest an asset so we can afford it more.
Bruce, you had mentioned that y'all were subsidizing us on some unpaid water. What causes that, and how much water do you claim we're not paying for?
Well, specifically, the O&M that we get billed from Central Texas, the contract only allows you to pay 37% of that. So we pay the other 63% of that. That's the contract. That is the contract that needs to be amended, because it states that that's the way it works.
So,
And it worked that way because in the beginning, that was a shared plan.
Okay, so
It's not anymore.
my follow-up question to this is going to be, what caused it to not be a shared plant anymore?
Kemper built their own plan.
So Kentner decided to build their own plant to increase the capacity of the place, is that correct? Include that 400 square miles?
Yes. And in hindsight, I wasn't part of that, I don't know anything about it. I'm very thankful now that they did, because we wouldn't have capacity, because of that Central Texas plant.
Do you think that Central Texas plant could have been updated if it was still a shared plant to have that capacity, but instead of what we're seeing is that Kentner expanded its area and now their O&M is too high?
So, Central Texas came, is my understanding, they came to Lampasas and Kentner and said, hey, we need 20 million plus to renovate this plant. And we said, no, we'll just go build our own plant. I wasn't there. I'm thinking that's what they said, okay. And so they divested from that plant because they didn't want to pay the upgrade.
If Kentner were to purchase the Central Texas plant, what would that look like as far as your O&M expenses ongoing? Would that help lower them?
No, it'd probably increase it. So the plant, it needed $20 million in repair 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I need a lot more than that now. I think one time it was a 24 million gallon a day plant. They said the firm capacity right now is 12. We don't feel like they could even do 6, so.
The issue with that is if you're gonna purchase that plant, you're gonna purchase that as it's
with all the problems.
absolutely. The best case scenario would be that everybody here together agrees that we're all gonna be in one kumbaya, and we're gonna get together and take the plant that we have, fully invest in it, either rebuild it, do what we can to increase the capacity, everybody merges together, we're at WCIP at that point. And everybody can merge to a board, you guys can do whatever you need, you can tear people, tax people, issue bonds, do everything that you wanna do and do exactly what they're doing in Clean right now, right? That's like the perfect world, because then you can upgrade your plant, you can renovate your plant, you can issue out as much bonding as you need to do that, right? But you guys would all have to be on the same page, and you can merge boards, whatever you wanna do, right? If you start looking at merging other plants, then you gotta go back, like you're talking with leases and contracts, then you gotta start looking at watershed contracts on who owns water. If you're buying somebody out, what are you taking away from somebody else? Right now, we're all in one entity, if you will.
Yeah, to explain that better, Eric, so we took our water capacity out of that plant and put it in our new plant. You still have capacity in that plant. Your 4.84 million gallons is your capacity. That's your DRA reserve in that plant. That's your water in that plant. We don't have water in that plant anymore. Okay, that's all your plant, all your water. But yet we're still paying for the upgrade, operation and maintenance of that plant. That's where my contention is that, it should just be a pass-through cost, just like
I guess
electricity.
what I'm having a hard time understanding is, earlier you had mentioned, our water comes through there, so our water's commingled before it gets here, right?
Absolutely.
And so you claim that some of our water is actually y'all's water, comes from your plant, but how do we not know that some of your water isn't Kentner water? I mean, Central Texas water, it's like.
I just don't know, there's no definition there, it's really vague. We work closely with Central Texas, just like we work with you guys. So if they're giving us bad water, we tell them that we stop taking it, but we take over and we supply our water.
When was the Kentner plant built?
2010.
And how much did it cost?
It's had some renovations, but let's just say 30 million.
So, built the plant for 30 million, but you could have renovated one for 20. I know it's not yours, but
I made that decision. This board knows nothing about that either, so that's not something
I
that.
think they need to get educated on.
Well,
Because that is a really poor financial decision.
Well, I think regardless of the history, right, us being educators, I know, I'll speak for myself, I am, and I know Joe is, but the problem there is it was done without our say or your all say, obviously, clearly. So beat the dead horse till it's on the dirt, I guess, but.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Right.
Is a lot of things we're doing with the city of Lampasas was not notified. So how can we avoid that?
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't understand how we can't, or how y'all can't determine what water is yours and what comes from Central Texas. Is there not a meter that you don't know how much flow is coming to you from them?
Absolutely you do. But we've got
So that you
20
could
million
be
gallons
able
of
to tell.
storage in the system. In the entire system. You don't know at what time whose water's where.
Steve, do you have some insight on this?
I mean, you have to know how much water is coming out of your plant, and they have to know how much water is coming out of their plant.
You do exactly. There you go, Steve.
I think to kind of help answer your question, Bruce is, to some degree, he is right. You can't tell what gallons where it is, but you are correct. It's metered at its very specific locations. So at the end of the day, you take how much water Lampasas actually used and you subtract it what Central Texas produced, and now you know who's over, who's under. So you can easily tell on a day-by-day basis, and they do in the bill, on if Central Texas or if Kentner, if Central Texas or Kentner produced more water, who actually truly covered Lampasas in terms of treated water cost. So, and that's reflected in everyone's bill.
So, to help rectify the issue of us getting water that we don't pay for, days that Central Texas overproduces, or there are other days that they underproduces, or there other days they overproduce?
I
And
would
does it wash?
I would argue that it's not necessarily water that Kittner has a problem with, it's the O&M cost that Kittner has.
On that plant?
Yeah, when you break it down by per day or per month on who produced what, TJ, their plant manager, on Stillhouse, does a very good job of throttling one way or the other so that he can kind of make sure that Kittner doesn't go in the red too far in terms of water production at Lampasas. And for example, this is a breakdown of December's bill, and you can see in the red, on the very end, and it's real small, I know, but you can see on a day-by-day basis in red or green who produced in excess. And on this particular month, which is the most recent, Central Texas would have produced excess 800,000 gallons of water, meaning Central Texas produced everything we would have used that month, and Kittner would have bought some additional water from.
So you go through this bill monthly, is there any kind of audit process, or have we had any issues in the past of where we were billed incorrectly and we had to hold money?
So I just started going through these bills. Prior to Aaron, Finley was pretty religious with it. He would go through it month by month and review any unnecessary charges if there were any, and kick them back if need be. But I will say for the most part, since Aaron's
November
been-
24 was the last time that something was sent to the attorney and agreed that it wasn't part of the contract that we should be paying for. Since then, they've done a good job of billing what we should be held accountable for in accordance with the contract.
Their finance side, the ladies sitting on the back do a pretty good job of kicking back any Central Texas charges that they try to sneak through the bill and pushing them back to them so that they don't get relayed to Lampasas if they don't qualify for payment.
So you have done good cooperation with,
Yeah.
now that it's started developing.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, because we are paying according to our contract. So I have a problem with you saying that we're not paying our part.
And that was determined by the lawsuit that was awarded to the Lampasas.
You were buying water from this entity over here, and selling it to this entity over here, and you were paying less than this person was buying. How would you rectify that?
I couldn't
That's
really
what's
get what
happening.
you're saying, that doesn't seem to me, that's
What's happening is that
I think it's a moral issue almost at this point.
right, but it was an agreed upon contract. And so what we're having an issue with is things like what we see in the editorial page of the newspaper, stuff like that, or us being on blast everywhere for not paying our share whenever we're abiding by an agreed upon contract that two parties agreed to years ago, went through litigation, and were proved that we were right. So I think you would have a better chance of working with us if you didn't make us out to be the bad guys always. You know what I mean?
my only response to that is that we've come to you many times, even since I've been here, to ask for some sort of contract amendment.
I like the idea of purchasing the Central Texas. I don't know how that would work or what that would look like, but
The issue is to look at, I get it, and I haven't been in a lot of this stuff too, and I understand contracting, I've done a lot of contracting as well, but contracting, somebody did the vacuum, none of us were there, I get it. Shouldn't have been that long, should not have gone that long, it shouldn't have been a fixed firm rate, that's not how you contract, okay? Wasn't your fault, wasn't my fault, none of our faults, right? What you bought in 2010 is not what we're doing in 2026, it just doesn't apply. You can stick with that rate, that's fine, we can all walk out of here with that. But in 5 to 6 years, if you don't adjust what you're doing with a rate and construction support, we won't have a plan because either we're not going to be able to afford it or we're going to have to sell it. And then it'll either be someone else that you deal with, right? Because that's just the way, that's business. Or someone's gonna buy it and it's gonna be privatized. And then we're all gonna be in the same boat. That's just the reality of it. Because it is a firm fixed contract over an extended period of time that is not conducive to all parties involved. I completely understand what you're saying, man, that this is my contract and we're sticking to this. That contract probably should not be where it's at today. Renegotiating contracts, maybe a little bit more amicable. Other alternate solutions of let's get together and start looking at conversions, buying plants, renovating plants together, because what Bruce is saying in a roundabout way is absolutely correct. Maybe what we're doing, sure, probably isn't the best way to do it, understand that. I completely agree and understand, it's not what you're saying, I understand. But if we stick to a base rate that is firm and fixed until 2084, you're not gonna have a plant 2084. You won't have one by the time when Laura and Stillhouse connect. In 2031 or 2032, I think it's publicized, Corps of Engineers building, right? When that thing is done, the first year, you might survive a year or two, but as soon as they balance that lake based off of the Browsers River Valley Agreement, the Browsers River Valley is the people that are gonna say who gets the water and who's low and who's high, and when they dip it to serve somebody else, there's only so many straws in that lake for Stillhouse, and we own the majority of the straws. We own more than anybody else. That plant is ours. We need help to keep it, because we will not be able to afford it much longer if they start dipping those levels, right? We're looking at many ways to financially make money, because we're, just Joe Spoon's opinion, right? We have financially outpaced members at this point. The members are not going to be able to afford it much longer if we keep doing what we're doing. We're eventually going to get to the point where they're going to pick the gates, they're going to set fire to the building. We just can't do it, right? So we need help with everyone. That includes you guys. So if there's other ways to do it, by all means, I'm all about it. I think this is probably the best way to do it as a team, is either conversion, maybe a WCID, or...
Could you tell me what that stands for? Because I can guess what WCID stands for, but I wanna hear it to make sure I'm right.
Water control and improvement district.
Thank you, sorry.
Similar to the dam, water control improvement is, that you have for the dams, so.
And that would be like a joint between.
It's basically multiple districts together. It would be almost like a water municipality. It would be a governing body. You could tax, you could tariff, you could regulate. Everybody would have a board at that point, no less than 5. Right? You have to have a solid entity of people. And this is like multiple counties, multiple jurisdictions. It's the exact same thing they're doing right now in like Colleen. Colleen has one, right? That is what we're looking. It's one of multiple courses of action. It's kind of one of like, in order to convert to a SUD to do some of the similar things, like in water districts, you would have to have every member vote and have a 2/3 vote. When was the last time you had all of your members vote to a 2/3? I don't think we can get to that, right? This is, everybody says, hey, let's vote on a board. You go down to the TCEQ and say, hey, we petition change, right? So that's a little bit more realistic and reasonable. And then that's, we shuffle a board, then we start making decisions based off of that revenue.
Ms. Corbell, have we had any increases in water in the last, I think we're talking the last 16 years, since 2010?
In water rates?
Yes.
Yes, sir. So we increased the base rate going into FY '24. We are high on our, in doing some comparative studies on our base monthly charge at that $37 a month. So going into this fiscal year, we recommended a volumetric raise in rate, and we did $1 per 1,000 gallons. So just in the last 2 years, there's been.
But nothing's gone back to Kempner Water. We haven't increased at all with you guys in the last 16 years.
Increase is because Central Texas has to spend more on their O&M. And so they're billing us more, we're billing you more. But that, if you look at your billing history, you're paying a lot more. And I think.
So we are paying more than.
You are.
Because costs go up.
Right.
So the cost of electricity goes up, the cost of chemicals go up, the cost of maintenance goes up. So yes, in this grand scheme of things, those bills are higher. And we can do a comparative study.
Putting into what your thoughts are.
I'm sorry.
The Central Texas Water Alliance is essentially the state Congress got together and said, hey, we've got water shortages everywhere, right? And they're deciding who gets water, how do you deal with water. People south of here should probably desalinized for the ocean. These people have areas, they're supposed to step in and help find people water or give people water subsidies and government grants, state grants, things of that nature. At this point, right now, join the alliance, right? It's in its infancy of planning and planning resourcing. Any city government, municipality, specific types of water entities can join it, but for the next couple of years until it gets up and running, or in my opinion, until the Bell House, did we get that right this time? Is it the Bell House initiative to the Two Lakes Connect? I don't think they're gonna be able to help support much until they roll all the entities up and find out who's who and what is actually gonna be what with all these BRA contracts and what water is and isn't available. They can help, they'll find, but they're gonna be more in the interim, what money is financially available until then for water development, and it'll be water resources after the fact.
Speaking of money, one thing I wanted to bring up, so we just got news that, water supply corporations are not eligible for any of this infrastructure money that the state voted on. So we're not able to borrow or get grants for anything. So that means that we have to depend on our members to fund everything. So that's a predicament for us.
Have you thought about reconfiguring your organization?
Yes, about becoming a WCND or a stud. Definitely have.
So could y'all become a WCID on your own without us?
Sure. Or a stud.
And then that would allow you to do what y'all need to do with the upgrading the plants and the bonds?
Possibly.
Yes, ma'am.
But we're partners with y'all, we co-own the line, I don't know how that works.
That's what I'm more concerned with, and I'm gonna be honest with you.
Now, we're in this together, so to speak.
I would rather work with y'all because converting to a WCID would give us access, license, bonds, and tariffs. You're a member of us, and we could tariff you, right? So
We could raise it.
we could raise rates for anybody that is a part of us regardless. So I would rather we work together and find a good amicable solution now instead of Kentner converted to a WCID one and raise tariffs and tax the everyone. That's not the intention. If we can do this together and work out.
Then we'd be in the paper.
I would rather us come to the table and figure this out. So that way it's a team effort instead of just Kentner's figuring this out and doing something on their own. We're all on one water line regardless.
I think we're talking baby steps here. We're
Right.
just trying to come together and say, agree that we need to talk about what we're gonna do. Okay, is there an issue today? No, but there's gonna be an issue, and we need to figure out how we're gonna do this.
And y'all said that the lake's gonna combine in 2030.
Yes, ma'am. You can look that up online.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
I
Please.
didn't know about that.
So, what's happening in that lake is that water's going to Georgetown. So they've got the most take out of that lake, so.
Cause Georgetown's out of the.
Yes, ma'am. Well, it's everything on Stillhouse. So regardless, that comes from all of us. So we're losing portions of the BRA. That's why they were trying to take portions from Colleen to vote. You give up portions of your contracts in water now, which is portions of the waterworks that you guys are on right now that you're a wholesale line.
I think we're just trying to come up with a solution now, so we can, but move forward here in the future. Maintaining the sites, that's in the contract. All we're saying is, listen, if we come to you at some point and say, hey, we gotta do this, because we can't get to this tank because the road's washed out. That you will say, okay, no, we'll co-pay on that. Or we say, hey, we can't even get to this line and fix it because it's covered with a forest. And you say, okay, yeah, that's reasonable, we'll pay for that.
Well, there's so much technical detail in what you have, and I think we have some good staff members working with your staff members, that communication needs improvement. Just to go in and put a road in without us being aware, that's a problem. So let's not repeat that mistake and get our people
Well,
working together closer.
in my defense, I had said that we were gonna do this. On
I'm
three
saying
different
from
occasions.
now on.
And got no response from Lampasas.
How would you guys like to do that? You wanna set up monthly meeting, office calls, and we're all about it. How would you like to venture that forward?
My thought is a technical team, but I'm just one person here, so
Okay.
a technical team, Stephen and
There's already supposed to be some sort of monthly meeting, I think in terms of the contract with support staff, Bruce, myself, Bo, Ben. I think for the most part, any large items need to allow us the opportunity to budget for them appropriately. So this would be that time of year, all the way up until May.
We need to know no later than June 30th.
Yeah, no later than June 30th if it's going to be a large item. And I'm not talking about just some sort of pothole or something like that. We're talking a full repair.
You know, I propose we have this meeting again in March, we tell you, okay, this is what we're gonna do. About that, would that make sense?
This again?
Yeah, well, not necessarily this, but.
With staff, is that what?
Yeah, I mean, staff, yes, absolutely, we can do that.
But you're saying that meeting is supposed to be held monthly?
Well, there is a staff meeting that I believe is supposed to be held monthly, just to.
Supposed to be the contract. You guys, have y'all read the contract? Okay, all right. Never mind, I'll let that go.
It allows for you the opportunity to discuss things like this, joint projects, budget preparation, stuff like that. So, and many other things, but yes.
Important, very important.
And we have, to some degree, we have been having them at a not necessarily that frequency, but yes, we've been conducting them to some degree.
Is that every time the line breaks?
So we put.
That's.
Good, Mayor, we're good?
I'm good.
Yeah, y'all mentioned y'all are for sale, I think the mayor just needs to buy you out. Ready to move.
Sir.
I have one question, Mr. Spoon, and I'm really asking your opinion on this. Is it your opinion that the connection between Lake Belton and Stillhouse, once that connection is complete in 2031, the BRA may not uphold its responsibility?
Oh, no, I think
agreements?
I think they're definitely going to uphold their agreement. The problem is, I think Corps of Engineers guy here, you're going to see some changes, and you're not going to like them, one way, shape, form, or another. Because the Corps of Engineers is building that project, right? And by 2031 or maybe 2032, it might delay, weather, et cetera. You're going to have to see changes because who's going to make decisions? And this is just me thinking, planning future. The BRA has all the contracts for all the water rights, watershed, surface rights. You're going to tie Stillhouse, who only has a couple of the manufacturing portions, but then you're going to tie Belton and Laura into all of that. Now you're going to have competing entities on several sides, and they're going to have to start making decisions. What's your decision support matrix? Who is making that decision and why? No one's going to give a decision. No one's going to chart that. No one's going to write that down. So it's kind of one of those questions of who's going to regulate that water and why. We all have contracts, but they're all competing. None of them say one's more important than the other. That's going to be the issue. What's the priority? What's the precedence? Because they don't have that right now. So they're going to have to redo that. And that's not getting done in alliance. It's not getting done in a meeting. And there is no, truth be told, I'm in the military and I work for the Corps. That is not one of those things that they're going to publicize. You're going to have to find out the first couple of times it happens, unfortunately.
No, we have reserve, you have reserve, we have more reserve than we need. I think what he's talking about is the reserve that we're not actually using, they're gonna garnish.
Yeah. And then say we all have an emergency at the same time, Laura and Stillhouse. Who's the priority? The people that aren't using it out here or the people in town? I'm just being honest.
Yeah, that's an extreme situation, but.
Is there a growth number that we should be looking at? That you can
No, I don't think we can predict that. I mean, we've got a lot of entities down 183 between here and Breaks that want to develop. We get that all the time. Whether it's a data center or it's, 1,200 acre development. All they want to know is how much water they can possibly give them,
When do you say no?
We say no, yeah, we say no. We say it'll cost you this much to get it to you. And the data center's like, it doesn't matter what it costs. We're like, well, we really don't have it. And they're like, okay, well, when will you have it? And so that's kind of where we're at.
The planning factor of that, sir, is also going back to your BRA. When you hit the threshold on not only how much you can give people, but also what your emergency and then also what your drought tolerance would be. There's a number in there. Whenever you hit that, that's gonna be.
Well, that's what I was thinking, it's more alluding to when you get in more of the droughts like we were a couple of years ago.
Yes, sir. And that's what worries me, like you're alluding to, when we have to start making decisions based off of lake levels. So.
Okay. All right. Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank you.
Got a motion.
Yep.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, guys.
There's one. Mr. Hernandez.
All right, at this time, I'd like to call our regular workshop session to order. First item up is discussion regarding Lampasas County Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center quarterly report.
Coming up by myself tonight. Woo, feel like a big girl. All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you so much for having me. In your packet, you will find my quarterly report. As we discussed at the end of last year, I will be coming now quarterly, 3 months at a time. So hopefully the reports are a little bit easier to read in that they will be a 3-month report for y'all. So in the report, you will find information on visitors numbers, information on the website, modules, all of our in-house visitation reports for the quarter, and then a listing of all the events that we have supported or hosted or been involved with in some capacity. The other information that you will find in here are the receipts for the 3-month time period. In this case, it will be the October 1 through December 31st. And it's broken down into the different codes for expenses. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them at this time.
Any questions?
And you said the hot funds, that's in here, noted in here, is that correct?
So these hot funds are not event hot funds. Event hot funds I come and ask for separately. These are all the operational expenses for the visitor center. At the 40%. Yes, yes. And then that spreadsheet on the front is just a breakdown of overall, just to look at it really quickly. And then there's supporting receipts behind it.
Any other questions? You're good?
Yeah, okay, great, thank you so much, appreciate it.
Item number 3, discussion regarding Appendix A fee schedule changes for the hostess house and road contract.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We made the recommended changes to the fee schedule that were discussed at our January 12th meeting during workshop. We did make one addition, which was the 4 hours and 8-hour rental for 501c3 corporations.
I appreciate that. But I did ask about the nonprofits. I've had several questions about people wanting to use the hostess house for events, but they're nonprofits, so that.
As of right now, we don't have them split up per floor. It is for the entire building. Just kind of complicates things a little bit if we split it per floor. I know one of the concerns was during Spring Hoe for class reunions. Our idea is to have one class do the rental and they work together to separate floors if they choose to use the full building.
I still think it should be split.
Any other comments or concerns?
I mean, you don't have to change the rates, it could be a per, like, with the rental, and it could be per floor, the $250 per floor, but I think it should be split. Because I don't see any reason not to.
Staff is concerned for liability purposes, for example, if there is a rental on the first floor and the second floor, and the rental on the first floor wraps up sooner, that you have to go through the first floor because of the elevator to exit, typically. And if there are any damages then on the first floor, which party do you hold accountable? The party that rented the first floor, or the party that rented the second floor?
How do you know or how do you prove it?
Correct. So we wouldn't be able to recoup anything on damages. Additionally, the bride's room is on the bottom floor next to the elevator, and there's no way to partition that off. So if someone wanted a small wedding on the first floor and they didn't rent the second floor, people would be going through the bride's space to access the elevator to get to the second floor,
If you walk into a hallway.
which is directly outside of the bride's room,
Yeah,
between the bride's room and the restroom.
but it's not the same space, it's just a hallway.
There's not a way to partition it off.
I think that, I don't know, I really feel like it needs to be separate. But that's just my opinion, which is, that I know staff hasn't wanted to do it because you feel like it's a headache.
That's not our hesitancy for doing it, not just because it's a headache, but there are concerns about liability reasoning.
I might be okay with someone renting the top floor if I have a baby shower downstairs, but Aaron might not be. That's not staff's call to make. That's why we feel like it's not a headache, it's not the word I would use, but it's a little out of our realm of possibility at this point.
One thing I think would be kind of neat to do is, because my wife knows these numbers better than I do, so I was looking at these and asking, she says, $2,000 for a weekend is really cheap, for a venue. If you kind of need to offer like a $2,000 if you're a Lampasas County resident, if you're coming from out of the county, then you have an upcharge, like a local charge and then an out county charge. Make a little money off of people coming from out.
That's what was in the fee schedule previously. We charged a county rate and a non-resident rate.
I mean, and I thought that was good because, I mean, as a resident, they deserve to pay less because they're already paying city taxes, whereas someone outside isn't.
We can work into the rental agreement a discount that you could approve for city residents if that's the route that you choose to go.
I think we need to approve this fee schedule so that we can get it rented.
Yes, I agree.
February,
I
right?
agree.
Can we approve this and then we can work on changes later? Yes. Is that possible?
I'm good with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion regarding any items on the regular session for February 2nd, 2026? No. Discussion regarding any items not included on the regular session for February 2nd, 2026 for consideration on future agenda. No action can be taken by the city council.
Mayor, I do have a couple of items I wanted to bring up to the public and to your attention as council and mayor. A couple of things that happened this last couple of weeks. We had a winter weather event, and I wanted to thank the city staff, the police department, the sheriff's department, the fire department that were going out into the bad weather. People were having broken lines of waters and all these kinds of things. I was out and about because of the Salvation Army work that I volunteer with, and we did some incredible work. Our staff, our police force, helped one man who was very confused about where he was going, and they understood the situation, and they dealt really wonderful with this individual, and wanted to thank them and recognize them for that. We also had several nonprofits who helped people who were very cold. We had warming stations set up, and we had St. Mary's Catholic Church and Methodist Church helping. We also had overnight stays at the Country Inn. Gave us very good rates for individuals who were both homeless, and some who were homeless and some who were simply in a house with no heat and no electricity. So I think our city really geared up to it and really reached out to people and helped a lot of people that could not have been helped otherwise. The other thing I wanted to thank you, there's a new transit authority coming in, it's called CARR, C-A-R-R. It's city, rural rides, and there's some copies of some business cards in the back. I learned about this in going to the senior center because the new transit authority is starting March 2nd. And that transit authority is open to both nonprofits, to low-income people, but it's also open to seniors. It's also open, for example, was moms with little kids that need a ride to the store. The only thing they have to do in advance is to set up a meeting time and to get a set up time to be picked up.
For those there, you want me to put that on the agenda?
I'm sorry.
Are you going to put that on a future agenda?
No, it's a possibility, but I don't think I need to. I just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention that CAR is out there and it's 800 number to call. There's also some marketing ideas that are going around the city that I attended a couple of different meetings with on marketing, and be coming up with more information on that in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor and Ms. Harrison, there was a couple of ideas tossed around tonight with our workshop meeting with Kent Water Supply. Can we put on a future agenda, executive session to discuss some of those ideas? I don't know if that can be on executive or not. The main idea is purchasing part of the plant or into their plant.
Certain items can be discussed in executive session, particularly consideration of the purchase of real estate and some utility matters, although those generally apply to electric.
Okay, so not water. Okay. I would like to discuss that at some point in the future. How can we get that on another workshop? Okay. Yeah. I just didn't know if it needed to be right on that first. Okay. And item number 6, get a motion to adjourn our workshop session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we will get our chief Cummings, if you'll come up, and all rise. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful to be in this beautiful community tonight with a great group of people. We thank you for the information that we've already exchanged, decisions made, and plans for the future. We pray you'll be with us for the rest of the evening and do the same. We thank you for the moisture that came with our snow this last weekend, and we are grateful for the limited problems that we had. We ask that you be with us in safety, watch over us till we meet again, as always, in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge the pledges. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. We've got some presentations and proclamations tonight, and somewhere, I don't see it in my packet anywhere. Haley must have forgot it because I saw somewhere she was the employee of the city of Lampasas. So we want to congratulate you.
I was coming to look for property.
You need to buy an ad for that. Well,
I asked who made the nomination.
Thank you, Kaylee, for all that you've done. Been a great asset to us here last. Not quite here, but getting pretty close. Thank you. 2026 Night Sky Awareness Month. Whereas the city of Lampasas, Texas, supports the effort to preserve the night sky and encourage such practices and technology to further preserve, protect, and celebrate our night sky in the city as reflected in the resolution 21-14. Whereas the city works with its partners to educate and encourage landowners, businesses, resident communities, and public entities to join in this commitment. Whereas upcoming events raises awareness, including the March 7th, 2026 Stars at Night Star Party at the Lampasas Sculpture Garden and Pavilion. Whereas the city recognizes the importance of educational awareness building to continue to encourage our citizens in protecting the enduring beauty of the night sky. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of Lampasas, Texas, the city hereby declares March 2026 Night Sky Awareness Month. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon this passage. Passed and adopted by City Council on the second day of February 2026. City of Lampasas. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We appreciate your continued support of our night skies. You know, I'm Martha Noel, part of the Night Sky Committee, and we definitely would like for you to come out to our March 7th event. It's a community-wide event. It's a lot of fun, and it's educational and great for kids. But also, I just wanted to point out that we take some of this so for granted. I don't know how many of y'all saw the moon last night. I mean, wasn't it amazing? I mean, I think we don't realize if we didn't live in a city like Lampasas, we may not have that view. And our dark skies are one thing that we, once they're gone, they're gone. And now we can go out and, 90% of the people in the U.S. do not see the Milky Way. I can stand in my backyard and see the Milky Way. And also, night skies are a great source of tourism. So people will come to our community to enjoy what we take for granted. And we really, really appreciate your continued support, and let us know what we can do to help or advise. We're going to keep plugging away at it. Thank you
very much. Thank you. And have a certificate of appreciation to Ricky Haney for 10 years of service here. And he's not here tonight, but we do recognize him for all his hard work. All right, we'll move to 1.0, public hearings and citizens' comment. And we have one.
Mayor and Council, I just wanted to invite you to our next EDC meeting, which is being held a week early. It'll be on February the 11th. It's next Wednesday. For those of you, I think the mayor and Dorothy were at our last one. We invited some people to talk about EDC strategies from actually our sister city in Burleson, Texas. The mayor pro tem and the director of the EDC came down and gave us a really nice 45-minute presentation. And I call them Sister City because it was actually named after Burleson Creek, a cousin. So the city of Burleson was actually named after the same family that settled Lampasas. So you missed a treat last week. I would invite you not to miss this one. We have asked a movie sound production team to come in and pitch us on how we're going to market our city, what we want to see the city to be, the vision that we want to offer as an EDC, and in hopes that is conducive to what you also want. I think we have some ideas on what we want the city to be, and I think the team that's going to come in give us a presentation, 15 or 20-minute video presentation, which we will actually screen this Wednesday on our own. We'll have it set up before the meeting. So we're inviting all the community leaders, the heads of all the different departments, or the community, Friends of the Night Sky, LAFTA, on and on and on. We hope to fill this chamber full of people who really want to see what our community is, at least what we envision our community can be. And your input, your feedback, be more than welcome and appreciated. So,
What time is it?
5:30. It's our regularly scheduled meeting, but we're just moving it up a week because I'm leaving the country. So. But anyway, next Wednesday night, 5:30, we'll have hopefully we'll have the computers up and everything. It's all about marketability, the marketing of our community, what we have to offer between the creek and our life here, the way we want our life to be, not the way that our lives can be thrust upon us if we don't do something about it now.
After this meeting, I thought about this a number of times and kind of with you guys' direction, I thought about throwing that thing wide open out to our community citizens that aren't involved on an everyday, daily, thinking about our community and this and that, by kind of answering those questions is where we come from, who are we, and where we're going to go, type of deal, and maybe tonight's not the night to set a date, but I would like to think coming up soon is to have some type of town hall where we could gather as a community and be able to talk about that. It kind of plays right in along with the EDC and kind of where you guys have been going and that type of thing.
Well, I assure you that everybody on the board, at least the ones I've spoke to, and I think it's pretty much unanimous, that we're in agreement with what we want to envision the city to be. And I think this meeting next Wednesday, if you will take the time, an hour of your time, to come see what these young gentlemen, and they are local movie producers, sound producers, they make music, they've scored several movies, they produce several movies, so they're quite proficient in what they do. The presentation, I assure you, will be worth you seeing, because I've already seen a preview of it, and it's quite remarkable what they managed to throw together in 3 days. Because we approached them last Friday, and by yesterday afternoon, they'd already sent me a preview of what they can do, what they're capable of doing, and super talented.
What's the name of the company?
Well, they have several different names. I'm not sure exactly what they're going by right now. They have a new movie coming out, The Wolf and the Lamb. You all probably know it's the Cooker boys. It's Jordan and Chase Cooker, local. They've been doing this for a long time. They've been in the entertainment business. They've been in California. They've produced movies, lots of movie scores, music. Chase writes his own music. He's got a production team. And I'm not sure you're aware that their studio that they planned a grand opening a couple of weeks ago burned to the ground. But they're going to rebuild, and it's going to be bigger and better than they ever envisioned. And I'm trying to convince them to bring their visual part of their production company to Lampasas. The music part is pretty much set. The man that's backing them as a builder and developer in the Vernon community builds $1 million plus homes. And so the actual music part of it, post-production part of it, will continue to be in virtual, but we want to get them here for their actual production of their movies. So they're familiar with Taylor Sheridan, which I know you've all heard the name. He's on every basically TV show on TV right now. Yellowstone, Landman. So they're familiar with all these people, and they have a great resume, and their passion for this city is probably unrivaled by anybody here. Like I said, they've been all over the world, all over the country, and they chose Lampasas to come back to, like a lot of us have. And so their passion for our city is, like I said, unparalleled, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So hopefully you can make time, and quite frankly, I hope this room is overflowing. And by the time we reach out to all the charitable organizations, the community leaders, I think it's going to be quite a spectacle. So if you would, please try to make time to show up.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Citizens comment, any citizen who desires to address the city council on a matter not included on the agenda may do so at this time. For a possible posting, discussion, council on future agendas, the city council may not deliberate on items presented underneath this agenda item, and we have none, so, citizens comment, any citizen who desires to address the city council on a matter that is included on the agenda may do so at this time. There's none. Go to the consent agenda, 2.1, discussion and possible action regarding the approval of minutes on the regular meeting held on January 12, 2026. Discussion and possible action regarding the second reading of an ordinance amended chapter 78, traffic and vehicles, amended article 3, stop standing and parking, section 78-223 of the city code's ordinance titled parking time limit generally exception regulating the parking of vehicles on public streets, providing a repealer clause of severe severability clause, and providing an effective date.
Move to approve consent agenda.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
3.1, Public Works Annual Report for electric, streets, wastewater.
All right. Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'm here with the Water and Wastewater 24-25 fiscal year annual report. There's a picture of the group, minus Mr. Sewell, who has stepped up, graciously became our Public Works Director. Thank you very much. It's been a blessing. I want to say that. It's been a blessing working underneath you. Sure, that wasn't facetious at all.
Y'all aren't hugging this.
We are and will continue to be a superior public water system. Here's the team. You have myself and Brandon at 15 years, and underneath each of our names is the license that we hold. Brandon, along with Mr. Sewell, has become a Class A water operator. It's a huge step for him. Mr. Cox with 9 years, and Mr. Yoho, one of the leaders on the team, Jacob, fine, upstanding young man. His team, Anthony Reza and Mr. Coleman, Cyrus, great guys, and Mr. Chisholm works with Mr. Cox in the construction department, and we just hired Glenn's brother, Jesse, for the wastewater treatment plant today. So he shows a lot of promise, very interested in what we're doing. JD has explained to us that he will be retiring in March or April timeframe. And Aaron, who has stepped up and was promoted into the plant supervisor position, taking Mr. Sewell's spot. So our annual water budget, $5 million, and I graciously thank you all very much. I know it takes a lot of time out of y'all's personal days and personal family time to come up here and argue and fight with me when I'm begging for money. But I graciously appreciate that. Some of the large ticket items in this budget are the meter replacement program, which we just finished up another round of, and our water system maintenance fund, which funds all water leaks, extensions, and major projects when somebody's building a subdivision and we have to extend a water line to them or sewer line to them.
our sewer line collection, budget. A main item in that one is their, lift stations and their maintenance, replacing pumps and repairing the system, electrical, the sewer plant. The SCADA system and equipment and maintenance are huge line items in this. We have some capital improvement projects coming up for the solids handling, and hopefully here in the near future, pre-treatment facility located off of our grounds. Some projects that we completed when TxDOT rebuilt the Cemetery Creek Bridge. It required us to remove the water line off of it. So we had to move it we had to remove 620 feet of water line for them to complete that project. We installed the fire line and the domestic line for the Hosa South project. We installed 560 feet of 2-inch water line on Brown Street. We installed 350 foot of water loop on Avenue A from Walnuts to Broad. The same on Broad Street from 8th to 9th Street. We had a 4-inch main installation on East 1st Street from Live Oak to Western. Something that we were involved in heavily was the Highway 29 water line relocation. In the cemetery, the backflow device and meter were on private property, and we have removed that and installed it on cemetery property now. And we have our ongoing GIS data collection from the water and wastewater system. Some of our wastewater projects, upgrade on East 7th Street from Pecan to Western. From Key Avenue to Ridge on 5th Street, that is currently ongoing. A water loop on 2nd Street from Spring to Summer, and a water line upgrade on Broad Street from 3rd to 5th. A water line tie-in on Willis and 1st Street, that was a water quality issue that Mr. Sewell and Jason Jones found. We had some customers in that vicinity calling about dirty water all the time, and come to find out that the velocity in the main that feeds the Nix tank was actually slowing down, and it was allowing the biofilm to grow in the main. So there's a dead end line that wasn't connected, and there was no way to flush it. So we connected the line, and we've added a fire hydrant so we can actually do some adequate flushing in the area to help those citizens. We had close to 1,800 line locates. That's crazy, but a lot of that was with the new gas project in town. It's kept Brandon very busy this year. Our water leaks down from years past. Flushing down from years past. Sewer backups. New water taps are down, which is kind of bad. But this water meter change out, sorry about that. We just did 700, and new sewer taps has fallen a little bit. Y'all have any questions before I hand this over to your new electric superintendent?
That 620 feet of water line that was replaced with the TxDOT Cemetery Creek Bridge, where is that project?
Okay, East 3rd Street.
Okay.
That first little bridge you come to there?
I was thinking cemetery.
Right.
Alright.
How close are you guys to finish with the water meters?
We are complete with the 3/4 inch. We are halfway done with the 1 inch. So next year we will finish the 1 inch and move into the 2 inch. And that will be the last of the contractor doing it for us. And then we will handle the large 3, 4, and 6 inch in-house. Yes, ma'am.
Where you said our flushing was way down from where it has been in the past?
Yes, Kipner putting the injection site at Ivy Mountain.
Okay.
Before they were doing that, the chlorine levels we were receiving at the entry points were not adequate enough to make it all the way through our system. So we would have to flush to bring that chlorine all the way through our system.
Okay.
So the injection site at Ivy Mountain is helping us.
Okay, all right.
Free chlorine conversion.
Oh yeah,
Probably a lot to do with that.
we did the free chlorine conversion in previous years. We haven't done one in 25 yet.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. On behalf of the Electric Department, our mission statement is to provide the citizens of Lampasas with safe and reliable power at an affordable price. We strive to provide prompt service while continuously growing through the technology and training. For the crew, Wayne now has retired. From what we hear and we see him every now and again, he's quite enjoying it. Obviously, I've taken over as superintendent, and John here is filled in as the crew supervisor. As far as the years of service, some of these don't exactly reflect the full scope of what the employees know, because John, he worked for contractors, LCRA, so he has a lot more experience than 2 years, as well as Juan and Luke both came from LCRA. Luke's just starting distribution. Juan had done distribution prior. Mike King, you are probably familiar. He's a local guy. He was a journeyman electrician. So he's really helped out with some inspection and the normal electrician side of thing that we do around here every now and again to help out. Kyle and Thomas, both of our apprentices moving up through the system. We do have one more employee. We are fully staffed for the first time in a while, Sean Richards. He just started last week. Experienced a lot of service work experience in the overhead and a lot of underground. So we're happy to have him on. As far as the certifications here, not a whole lot to talk about. We do have quite a few employees now with Class A's when Class B is the only thing that's required. So it's nice to have that. I know we've helped out water department in a pinch, pulling their excavator around with our new bucket that's equipped to pull the panel hitch trailer. Y'all are obviously more familiar with the budget than I am, but our projects, y'all know about Turner Field. That was a big one last year that, when the summer came, as soon as they shut down for the year, we went in there and wrecked out everything. We trenched for days on end, laying underground pipe, not our normal cup of tea, but the guys really handled it well. That turned out great. If y'all haven't been by, definitely take a look at it. The other notable one on here is Highway 190 West pole relocation. That's another one of those for the road widening going towards Lomita. We had no idea that it was going to be a conflict until they met with us, I believe, March or April. Me and Wayne went out there and he says, well, there's like 13 poles here that are in the right of way that y'all are going to have to move. And they wanted it done within 2 months, but they're ended up holding that project a little bit, waiting for right-of-ways. But at the same time as Turner Field, when we have a break there, we were changing poles out on 190, trying to get that project finished. Everything went good. The guys really rolled with the punches and went above and beyond. Christmas lights, it's a normal every year thing. For the 2026 pole inspection and replacement, obviously the poles, as they age, they go bad. So when we're just out on a normal job, it may turn into a big job, having to change out a couple poles that have been out and nobody saw. That's an every week thing. LCRA system study. Basically, electricity is complicated, and they come in and identify any points that we can help with, or just kind of an overview of our system. Tesla supercharger, that'll be some underground primary transformer. The next link's pole change outs, they're bringing fiber in. There's quite a few poles that are too short to accommodate another set of communications to maintain all the clearances. So we're working with them to get the poles changed out that need to be so that they can get in, get fiber over the city. And then currently we are working on a Sulphur Creek urgent care. I think we've changed out 3 poles. They need to be taller. Part of that's for the next link. Part of it is we're transferring to 3-phase. So I think we're at 3 out of 5 poles. That'll be done before too long. As Van mentioned, quite a few line locates last year with the gas and everything around town. That's a everyday thing now. Somebody has to break off for a couple hours and get that taken care of. John's headed that up and done a great job. So it's been a lot, but it hasn't been an issue. Pole change outs, probably on the down slope of that just a little bit, just dealing with all of the other projects that came up. Like I said, this year we're going to get back into the replacing the older poles. Not a whole lot else on there that's too, that y'all can't figure out. That'll be it for me. Any questions?
I just wanna say you guys did a great job during the last storm. I don't think there was any big major outages.
0 outages for our system.
That was awesome, thank you.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Of course, there's our mission to provide safety, connectivity, mobility while maintaining and improving city-owned streets, right-of-ways, drainage, premises, safety, welfare of our citizens and general public. It's our highest priority. There you see our crew. We've had a pretty solid crew the last couple of years. We hadn't had any major changes. I'm the street superintendent. February 18th, I'll have 22 years. Joe will have 18 years. Mike, 17. I don't know. I know one of our crew leaders, he's probably about 3 or 4 years left, and they're retiring. So that'd be I don't look to replace that position. We'll hire someone on the bottom end. Brian Hall's been with us. He's been a great asset. Cody Kelper's been a great asset. William's been here 2 years. He's a little tough to figure out, but he's a great hand. So, and then Ben Brown, he's been with us 1 year. Our certifications, we don't have any certifications we require. Biggest one is Class B CDL. And of all of us, I only have one guy that does not have it. And I brought it up before, y'all know the new federal regulations. It's tough to get one now. So I think I myself am certified to do the class. I think Van seems correct. And Micah? No. So I guess me and Van are the only 2 in the city to do that. So we're doing that. The work zone traffic control. Our certification is good for 3 years. 3 years, and we'll be doing that class coming up this year sometime. And the good part about that is I can get UT Arlington, and they will send out a trainer, and it's no charge to the city. And it's a 2-day course, so that's open for anybody in the city. And that also covers the flagging certification. So we do have to have that certification. Like I said, we're up for it, so we'll get that going. Street department budget, 1.453 million. There's not really much, just basic right there. Street department projects, we assist the textile with East 3rd Street Bridge, 2nd Street rebuild, inspection, Western Street, Western Avenue culvert. If you recall, that's where the culvert failed. All those are rock walls, and we have rock walls underneath Chestnut, underneath Main. We have a wooden bridge underneath Pecan. It's our live oak. It's probably going to need some attention one of these days. We chipped 25 tons of brush when our brush chipper was going. I think we got it going now. Old Austin Road is, I don't know if you're aware or not, we maintain Old Austin Road up to the city property to the business park. So that used to be the county, but now that is now ours. So in, West First Street leveling, we went in front of the Church of Christ over there where the curb was higher, and we milled that and got everything back to normal. We kept on getting complaints about people tripping, so we took care of that. Future projects, as from the council to me, to the street department, drainage. So we're concentrating on drainage projects. Fairview drainage feasible study, we're still waiting on that. General drainage issues, we've been working on that hard. Avenue H low water crossing, so we're in the process of getting that taken care of, and the CDBG project for Cemetery Creek, that is ongoing as we speak. This year's work orders, mainly street repairs. And mainly street repairs is what we do mainly. Where the water department's been going and doing all these water on loopers, we come in behind them and fix them up, patch them back up. Citizen collection. So to provide citizens in Lampasas alternative solutions for removal of debris, recycling material from their property located, eliminating the need to travel out of city limits to dispose of material. Elizabeth has been with us for a year and a half. Citizen collections budget, station cost $70,000. There you have the fees, the haul charge per ton, tons collected. City and county recycle, so we do allow the county to recycle for a fee. And that's costing us a lot of money, the recycling. So we're in the process of working to lower that and figure out a solution for that. Tons collected this year, 395 compared to other previous years. So the collection station is getting used. In the future, I think, I know in this year's budget, talking with Stephen and Aaron and the new city manager, where my goal is to get that open up full time. So.
Were there any plans on like a transfer station?
I don't have a clue. That's something that we could possibly talk about. Yeah. So, questions? That's it. Thank you.
Thank you guys. The only thing I would like to add is the one person that actually made the presentation is sitting right there. If you don't know her, you've heard her before, you've seen her, and that's Robin. She's our public works administrative assistant, and she's a valuable asset. Thank you.
All right, 3.2, upcoming special events, meetings.
Okay, February 13th is the deadline for filing a place on the May 2nd, 2026 ballot. I currently do not have any applications turned in. Talk to your friends, coworkers, all of you. February 16th, all city offices are closed for President's Day. And that's all I have.
One discussion of possible action concerning the approval of the contract for election services between Lampasas County, Texas, and the city of Lampasas, Texas, for May 2nd, 2026 general election.
Mayor and council, this item is on the agenda. We bring it to you every year about this time. We do partner with the county to do all of our election services. We will have two election day voting sites. One of them is in Kentner, and one of them is at the county annex building here on the square. Early voting is April 20th to April 28th, and election day is May 2nd. On May 2nd, election day, the office will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Every other day is 8 to 5. Any questions?
I move to approve the a contract for election services between Lampasas County, Texas, and the city of Lampasas for the May 2nd, 2026 general election, and authorize the city manager to execute the related documents.
Second.
Any other questions? All in favor?
4.2, discussion and possible action regarding the first reading of an ordinance amending Appendix A of the City Code fee schedule concerning fees for Chapter 54 parks.
Mayor and council, this is the ordinance that was discussed during the hostess house. I'm trying to get that. The appendix is all of the fees with their changes that were discussed during workshop.
Move to approve the first reading of ordinance amending Appendix A of the City Code fee schedule concerning fees for Chapter 54 parks and recreation. Hostess house rental fee, providing for a repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for repeal of a severability clause, and providing an effective date.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
4.3, discussion and possible action regarding a lease agreement renewal with Quadrant and a new XI5 mailing system.
Mayor and council, we have a mail machine at City Hall that stamps all the mail that we send out. It's quite a time saver, but we do have a 5-year contract with them that is up for renewal in October. They do have an agreement with us that we can start it early, but our new rate won't start until October. They'll give us a new machine, and it's $8 a month more expensive.
I move to approve the lease agreement renewal with
Quadrant.
in the amount of $179.91 a month.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Discussion and possible action regarding the awarding of the bid from Texas Multi-Chem in the amount of $49,620 for the repairs to Turner Field caused during the July flooding.
Good evening, Mayor, Pro Tem, and Council. A couple months ago, we brought you a long laundry list of all the damages that occurred during the July flooding. After those were approved, city staff did get together amongst all the departments and create somewhat of a priority list of what we would like to do as projects in. Turner Field is one of the top Parks and Recreation project on that list, just simply due to the fact that LCYLA is anticipating starting their season at this facility in early March at the latest. We did on December 19th go out for sealed bid with the anticipation that this project would be over $50,000. We had it out for several weeks over the holidays, nearly a month, but in the newspaper 4 times. We had a bid opening on January the 12th with one incomplete bid submitted out of almost 40 people on the plan holders list. After that, in discussion with Parks and Rec staff as well as Aaron, thought it may be a good idea to go out for quotes instead to see if we would get a quote under $50,000, in which we did. And so the hope is to award this bid tonight, and I've already spoken to the contractor in the event that he does get this contract, and he is ready to start this project ASAP for it to be open for LCYLA spring softball, baseball, and t-ball season.
So this was itemized on that list that we saw back in December.
Correct. FEMA actually budgeted approximately $52,000 for this project, and the bid came in at 49 and change.
I move to approve the bid of $49,620 from Texas Multi-Chem for the Turner Complex repairs and authorize the city manager to execute all related documents.
Second.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Question? All in favor?
And with that, we'll need a motion to adjourn into executive session. So moved. Second.
All in favor?
The city council of the city of Lampasas, Texas, will meet in closed executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, as follows. section 551.087, economic development to receive and evaluate financial information received from business to discuss same or to deliberate regarding commercial or financial information that the city has received from a business that the city seeks to have, locate, stay, or expand near the city, with which the city is conducting economic development negotiations and or to develop an offer of any financial or any other incentives to any business prospect as described above. Project Sweet Dreams. 5.2, section 551.072, deliberate about real property, deliberation concerning potential purchase, exchange, lease, acquisition, sale, or value of real property. The Lampasas Trucking and Ready Mix at 1550 North Highway US 281, 6th Street between Avenue J and Avenue I. 5.3, section 551.074, personnel matters to deliberate employment, evaluation, reassignment duties, or discipline of a public officer, city manager, or any other personnel matters as allowed by Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, and adjourn in executive session and reconvene into regular session. And we will go into executive session.
It's pretty big because they were
We're live.
All right. Welcome back. And we get a motion to, no, we don't need a motion, do we?
Motion to
Come back in regular session, yeah. Second. All right. We have a couple of things coming out of executive session tonight. You're up.
In accordance with the notice given by the city manager on January 23rd, 2026, the Lampasas Trucking and Ready Mix, due to the company's unfortunate inability to comply with the terms of their 2014 lease to purchase agreement with the city of Lampasas and the 2014 economic development agreement with the city of Lampasas and the Lampasas Economic Development Corporation, I move to terminate both the lease to purchase agreement and economic development agreement with Lampasas Trucking and Ready Mix, located at 1550 North US Highway 281, and direct the city manager to seek damages and reimbursements for the provided economic development incentives, professional fees, and remediation expenses associated with the project located at said address. Additionally, the property must be vacated by the lease by March 23rd, 2026 at 5 p.m.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And the next item up.
Yes, sir, make a motion to remove the title of interim finance director and appoint Aaron Harrison as finance director of the city of Lampasas.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now we need a motion to go home.
Second.
Aye.